So, picture this. You're in Japan, you've just sat down, and in front of you is a meal that looks like a work of art. The smells are incredible, you're excited, but then this little voice pops into your head. Oh no, am I about to do something wrong? Am I going to mess this up? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, today we're going to make sure that voice has nothing to worry about.
We're going to cover everything from the basic phrases and first steps to the two different worlds of sushi. We'll get into how to master your chopsticks, the art of eating the food itself, what to do when it comes to drinks and paying, and finally, why all of this is so much more than just a list of rules. Let's jump in.
You know, before you even think about picking up your chopsticks, the whole experience really starts with a mindset. It's all about gratitude and respect, and that's shown through a couple of super important customs.
Okay, so these two phrases, they go way beyond just saying let's eat or thanks for dinner. They are packed with meaning. Itadakimasu, which you say before you eat, is this beautiful way of acknowledging everyone and everything that went into the meal, from the farmers to the chef. And then gochisousama deshita, which you say after you're done, is a genuine, heartfelt thank you for the feast you just enjoyed. All right, a few quick things to do as soon as you sit down. That little wet towel you get, the ashibori, that's just for your hands. Don't go wiping your face with it. And it's always good manners to wait until everyone at the table has their food before you dig in. Oh, and don't feel weird about lifting your rice or soup bowl up. It's actually considered the polite way to eat from them. Now let's get into what is probably Japan's most famous culinary export, sushi. The thing is, not all sushi restaurants are created equal, and the etiquette, well, that can definitely change depending on where you are. You've basically got two different scenes. On one hand, there's the sushiya. This is your traditional, often high-end spot where you're sitting right at the counter watching a master chef work their magic. It's a bit more formal for sure. Then you've got kaiten sushi, the super fun, super casual conveyor belt sushi. It's awesome for families. You just grab whatever looks tasty as it floats by. Knowing the vibe beforehand is a total game changer.
To really get the most out of your sushi, let's quickly run through some key terms so you sound like a pro. First up is neta. That's the star of the show, right? It's the topping, the slice of fish, the seafood, whatever is sitting on top of the rice. And what does that neta sit on? Well, that's the shari, and this is so important. It's not just regular rice, it's perfectly seasoned vinegared rice, and it is the literal foundation of every single piece of sushi.
You'll always find this on your plate. Gari, the pickled ginger. Here's the thing, you're not supposed to eat it with your sushi. You eat a little piece between different kinds of fish. Why? It's a palate cleanser. It resets your taste buds so you can appreciate the unique flavor of the next piece. And last one, this is a cool little insider term. While most people know soy sauce as shoyu, in the sushi world you might hear it called murasaki, which literally means purple. Just a little bit of fun trivia for you there. All right, let's talk about the most important tool you'll be using, the chopsticks, or hashi. Seriously, how you handle these can say a lot. And avoiding just a few key mistakes is one of the biggest signs of respect you can show. Okay, listen up, because this part is crucial. A couple of these are massive taboos because they're connected to Japanese funeral rites. Sticking your chopsticks straight up in your rice? That looks like incense at an altar. Passing food from one pair of chopsticks to another? That mimics a ritual with cremated bones. So yeah, avoid those at all costs. The others are just considered bad manners, like spearing your food, waving your chopsticks over dishes while you try to decide, or licking the ends. So, we've got the tools figured out. Now let's talk about technique. There are these subtle little ways of eating that don't just show respect, they actually make the food taste better.
If you're at a proper sushi app, there's a real logic to how you should order. You don't just pick things at random. The idea is to build up the flavors. You start with lighter, more delicate white fish, then move on to the red fish like tuna. Then you get into the really rich stuff like sea urchin, and you finish with something a little sweet, like the tamago egg omelet. It's designed to not overwhelm your palate right away.
This is probably the #1 mistake I see people make. When you dip your sushi, you want to turn it over a little bit and just dip the edge of the fish, the nita, into the soy sauce. And there's a really practical reason for this. The rice, the shari, acts like a little sponge. If you dip the rice side, it's just going to soak up way too much soy sauce, which completely overpowers the fish and honestly makes the whole thing fall apart in your bowl.
Okay, this is it, the big one. The question that runs through every traveler's mind the moment a steaming, gorgeous bowl of ramen is placed in front of them. Should you do it? To slurp or not to slurp?
And the answer is yes. When you're eating noodles, and I mean only noodles like ramen, soba, or udon, slurping is totally fine. In fact, it's actually encouraged.
It shows you're enjoying the meal. Plus, it has a purpose. It helps cool down the hot noodles and mixes air with the broth, which actually enhances the flavor. But just remember, for everything else, like soup or rice, quiet is king.
All right, let's talk about the social side of things. How you handle your drinks and how you settle the bill are just as important as how you eat your food.
In Japan, drinking is really a group activity, so don't start chugging your drink the second it arrives. You wait for everyone to be served, and then someone will lead a toast with a big kanpai. And here's the key. It's all about pouring for other people, not for yourself. You keep an eye on your friends' glasses, and they'll keep an eye on yours. It's this wonderful, constant, friendly exchange.
And when it's time to pay the bill, the rule is incredibly simple. 0. That's how much you tip. Tipping is just not a part of the culture at all. In fact, leaving extra money can actually cause some awkward confusion because excellent service is just the standard. Now, you might see a small cover charge and odatushi at a pub, which usually comes with a little appetizer, but that's it. No tips needed.
So we've covered a ton of do's and don'ts, but I really want to zoom out for a second. Because Japanese dining etiquette isn't just a random list of rules you have to memorize. There's a much deeper philosophy going on here.
This quote really just nails it. Every single rule, from saying itadakimasu at the beginning to how you hold your chopsticks, it's all an expression of mindfulness and appreciation. It's about respecting the chef's hard work, the ingredients that gave their life for the meal, and the shared experience with the people you're with. It elevates eating from just a physical act to a really meaningful ritual.
And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. When you get the why behind these customs, it does more than just help you avoid looking like a tourist. It can actually change how you perceive the meal itself. So the next time you sit down to eat, whether it's in Japan or anywhere else in the world, just take a second to think about the intention. You might be surprised to find that a little bit of mindfulness makes everything taste just that much better.